Hi, everyone. My name is Doug King, and I'm a professor in Justice Studies at Mount Royal University. Welcome to the online orientation for our Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice at Mount Royal University. We hope you find the presentation interesting. What I hope to do is go over and give you a broad overview of what our degree entails, what makes it unique, what makes it different. Talk a little bit about the careers at the end of the process that you might want to consider, but more importantly, try and explain to you why our degree is of interest to so many students as they go through the process. What I've done is I prepared a PowerPoint slide that I'm going to show that will help us walk through the degree. And then at the end, there's a couple of slides that will help you find more information about how to get more information about how to apply and that whole application process. We will be joined by a student who is in the practicum stream of our degree, which is one of the more unique streams in arts programs in Alberta, and so it might be something that will really intrigue students who are coming into our degrees. So let's start up the process, and we'll go from there. Let me turn it on here. Okay, and so let me start the slideshow, and we can go from there. So, as I said, we're called the Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. We have a certain uniqueness to our degree. One of the things that oftentimes incoming students are a little bit surprised at is that our university is the second oldest post-secondary institution in Alberta. Mount Royal College, as it was once known, was established in 1911. About 50 years before the University of Calgary was established. So we're kind of the old partners in post-secondary here in Calgary, and certainly also in Alberta. Before we start, it's, I think, important to recognize where Mount Royal is situated. Mount Royal is located in the traditional territorial lands of the Niitsitapi, Blackfoot peoples, and the people of Treaty 7 in the southern Alberta, which includes the Siksika, the Piikani, the Kainai, the Tsuut'ina, and the Arihe Lakota. And we are also situated on land between the Bow River and the Elbow River. We are in the traditional Blackfoot name of this place is called Monkissis, which is now called the City of Calgary. The City of Calgary is also the home for the Métis Nation. We do these land acknowledgements in the spirit of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that brought to light many of the challenges facing Indigenous peoples in Canada. And we here at Mount Royal are committed to working towards better relationships with Indigenous people, and in particular in criminal justice, because there is an intersection between criminal justice and Indigenous peoples in Canada. So let's continue on. Why come to Mount Royal? One of the things I always tell people is more education is better than less, so you should be always pursuing more education in your lifetime. And we're extremely proud of what we have been building here at Mount Royal. We are an undergraduate-only university. We don't offer graduate degrees, so we are focused on undergraduate student learning. We believe in personalized learning. We believe in smaller class sizes. We teach based on an outcomes focus. We walk into a lecture knowing what we want to achieve at the end of it. And you will get professors' feedback. At larger universities, oftentimes your work is graded by graduate students. The professor teaches, graduate students grade, but here at Mount Royal, we grade the work. And there's something important about that in the sense of we get to know students, can start to mentor them, we can start to encourage them through our feedback loop. So I think that's pretty important. We also have at Mount Royal lots of learning supports, a writing skills center, a state-of-the-art library, and all of those kinds of things that we're really very proud of. The library is actually quite new. We also pride ourselves here at Mount Royal with having some kind of direct workshop or workplace experience in all of our degrees. So that may be a practicum, which I'll explain when we get to it in our discussion, co-ops, internships, and those kinds of things. Those kinds of direct workplace experiences, although unpaid, will give you experience in the field that you can use to potentially leverage your career off as well. We also have a very vibrant here at Mount Royal extracurricular activities, athletics, clubs, and those kinds of things. So Mount Royal is really focused on community and students being comfortable in a learning environment that is positive towards that learning outcome that we focus on. Now, why the Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice? Well, lots of different reasons why. We are the only one of its kind in Alberta. We are a 4-year degree that has either a practicum or a honors stream. We'll explain what both of those are. You can get criminal justice education at colleges in Canada, in Alberta, and very good education. Bow Valley does a great job, Lethbridge College does a great job, and so on. But we're the only 4-year degree, and that becomes important for those students who want to potentially consider going on to law school or graduate school or something along those lines. That's really important. Lots of times students will say, well, I want to get my job. I want to get out. I want to get educated as fast as I can get out and get a job in 2 years. And, oftentimes they'll talk about law enforcement and things like that. But you need to sit back and say to yourself, why would the chief of police for the Calgary Police Service have a master's degree? Why did former chief of police Rick Hansen have a bachelor's degree in political science? So if you may not need it to get employed, but you may need it to get promoted. So those are the kinds of things that are very important. We are extraordinarily fortunate to have an embedded academic advisor and practicum coordinator, which means that you work directly one-on-one with the Justice Studies advisor and practicum coordinator when you have questions about what courses to take, when you have questions about prerequisites, when you have questions about getting into a practicum, that you can make an appointment with our practicum and academic advisor and meet with them, as opposed to having to meet with someone who is kind of providing the same kind of information, but for a number of programs. Ours is, we're very fortunate to have that kind of learning support for students. Not to boast too much, but my colleagues are award-winning professors in teaching. Many of them have won university-wide awards for their teaching excellence, scholarship awards, national and international awards, and service awards to services working within the community and within the university on projects and those kinds of things. We are nationally recognized by other justice programs across Canada. In fact, several justice programs in Canada use us as the measure for what they want to be. So that's important. And one of the things that I can promise you is that once you get into the degree, your other students that are in the degree form a very tight network and support one another in their learning. And that's really important, because sometimes, you don't get a class or you don't understand a concept, and it's easy to go to a student, another student, and say, what did Doug King say in class? I didn't quite pick it up, and those kinds of things. So it's a real kind of close community. Instructors know students' names and vice versa and things like that. The Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice was launched in 2007 as we were moving away from college into university. So we converted all of our 2-year diplomas into a 4-year degree. We're also, again, unique in Alberta in terms of that focus. Not to say that the diploma programs in Alberta, in particular Bow Valley and Lethbridge College, aren't really good. It's just that you can't leverage them much beyond the 2 years. Our degree allows you to leverage them across different careers, different educational opportunities once you graduate. We're similar, like I say, to other 4-year degrees in other provinces. We call it a 4-year degree. It's 43 credit courses that you generally take 10 every academic year. 5 in the winter term, 5 in the fall term, and that then adds up to a 4-year degree. But we recognize and expect that a good portion of the students don't do it in 4 years. They extend it to a 5th year because they're maybe working part-time. They wanted, instead of taking 5 courses a term, they want to take 4 courses a term and things like that. And that's okay. That's, in fact, if that's going to make you a better student, then do it that way. About 70% of our courses in the degree are criminal justice courses, and I'll give you a glimpse of what those courses look like in a second. And then 30% of the courses are outside criminal justice in their areas like philosophy, sociology, political science, gender studies, and where you get to do a fair amount of choosing in terms of what courses you take outside the degree. So it's a well-constructed degree that students move through, don't hit many bottlenecks in terms of can't access courses and those kinds of things. So we're very proud of the degree. We put a lot of time into developing it and in terms of delivering it. So let's do a little bit of definitional kinds of stuff. So you might have heard me use the word criminal justice. So what is criminal justice? Criminal justice is the study of how society responds to crime. And that will be things like, how do the courts work? How do police work? How do corrections work? We talk about youth justice versus adult justice. We talk about issues of diversity. We just launched a new course on Indigenous peoples and justice. We talk criminal law. We talk the Canadian Charter, and so on. We also teach some skill-based courses that are useful in working within the criminal justice field, and those are interviewing skills. Interviewing is an art. You can't just go in and kind of wing it. You got to have technique down and those things. We take you through those things. Professional ethics, as you can probably imagine in any criminal justice profession, the professional ethics are of a premium. You need to be ethical in how you deal with people. We also talk about crisis intervention, what to do to tamp down a crisis situation so that people don't get hurt, and those kinds of things. That's similar to criminology. If criminal justice is the study of how society responds to crime, criminology is the study of why people commit crime. So it's more of the causation of crime as opposed to what do we do about it when it occurs. And we teach criminology in our degree, we're more criminal justice focused, but we teach criminological theory, the theories that are developed within the discipline of criminology that explain why some people are at a greater risk of committing crime than others. For example, there are theories out there called differential association theory, which are that your chances of becoming engaged in criminality increase the more you are exposed to people who engage in criminality. It's a very well-regarded theory. There are other theories related to social control theories and those kinds of things. And we also teach what we call aberrant behavior. Not all criminals, not all people who commit crime are engaged in aberrant behavior, right? They engage in criminal behavior, but they don't have personality disorder issues and things like that. And so we teach some of those as well. Other degrees, for example, the Simon Fraser degree at Simon Fraser University in British Columbia, are a criminology degree, and they focus on causation of crime more than they do criminal justice. Ours is a criminal justice focused degree. Now, the degree courses that you will take are varied and different. So let me show you what those are. I'm going to turn off the PowerPoint for a second and share a different screen with you. And they are here. Let me just find it here. Prevent a tab. There we go. Okay. So this is the Bachelor of Arts Criminal Justice web page at Mount Royal, and you can easily find it by simply typing in Bachelor of Arts Criminal Justice Mount Royal, and it will come right up. And it gives you information about how to apply. It gives you information about the honor stream and the practicum stream and those kinds of things. What I want to look at is and show you is an overview of some of the courses that we offer. And the curriculum that you see on the screen are all courses that you will take during the course of your fourth year. So a CRJS 1001 course is a first year course. 2002 is a second year course, third year course, fourth year course, and so on. And you can see there that it's a very diverse type of courses. We're proud of them. We really enjoy them. We enjoy teaching them. And so for example, I teach criminal law, and I teach the Canadian Charter, and I teach advanced crim theory and those kinds of things. Now, you will also have the opportunity to pick what we call CRJS option courses, where you can say, okay, it's not a required course, but I've got space in my degree that I can take a course in criminal justice that I'm really quite interested in. And you can't take all of them. You haven't got enough space in your degree to do that. So you get to pick and choose which ones you want to teach and whether or not they're being taught in the semester you want to take them. And you can see there that they're really kind of very highly specialized kinds of courses. The crime and criminal intelligence course is taught by a major crimes analyst for the Calgary Police Service, and so you get a little bit of insight in how she does her job. We teach courses on policing, we teach courses on corrections, women in crime, a course on critical issues in forensics. You name it, we teach it in terms of those kinds of things. So those are the kind of interest-based courses that students often find really interesting and unique for their course of study. So that gives you a sense of the courses that we teach. Go to the website, have a look at it. You can then link into a more fulsome description of what's taught in it. Now, one thing to know about these courses is that they are all, for the most part, Prerect courses, meaning that you can't get automatically into them. You have to get into them by way of taking some prerequisites before you can get into them. For that. So it's really important that you map out your course taking patterns in our degree, but we help you with that. Our academic advisor does a very thorough job of helping students kind of map out their program plan as they go through. So don't be overwhelmed by that idea. It comes very naturally once you're in the degree. So let's start up again with the PowerPoint and move forward with it. Okay. So those are the kinds of courses that you can take. I invite you to go to the website to get a little bit more information about each course as it goes through. We're kind of frozen here a bit. There we go. What makes our degree unique besides the courses? Well, the first things that kind of make it unique are the courses we teach, but then as you move into your third year of study, you need to start making some decisions about, do you want to do the practicum stream, which is a hands-on experience in a criminal justice agency. It is 2.5 days a week during just one semester. So that's a lot of time that you'll spend in the agency. You can do it fall, winter, spring, summer. Our practicum coordinator works with you in terms of getting the right fit for what you want to do with that. It is it usually occurs in the fourth year of study, but you got to get ready for it in earlier stages. The practicums, we have agencies that host our students, and they're committed to making it as close to real world experience as possible, in the sense of they interview students. You have to submit resumes, you have to go to an interview, and they interview more people than they are willing to put into a practicum opportunity. So you have to be prepared. You have to work hard towards those kinds of experiences as we go through. Before we move on into the honors, I thought that it would be nice if we could hear from a student who is in the practicum stream, and we'll go from there. Let me just turn this off for a second, folks, if I can, and get back to you folks here. Okay. I thought what we would do is invite Cassie Haggerty to join us to talk a little bit about her experiences in her practicum, and get a sense of flavor of experience and things like that. So Cassie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I hope your courses are going well this term. I know one of them are, because you're in one of them. I'm teaching one of them. Hopefully. So how close are you towards finishing your degree?
So this is my last semester. I'm going to graduate after this semester.
At this semester. And so you're currently in your practicum, are you?
Yeah, so I'm in my practicum and 2 classes as well.
And 2 classes. And it's a fair amount of work, I assume, 2.5 days a week with practicum and that.
Yeah, it's a big time commitment for sure, with the 2.5 days a week classes, and then if you want to work on top of that, but it's definitely manageable. You just have to be disciplined about it.
Yeah, get organized and that kind of stuff. Without naming the practicum agency's name, because I think we would need to get their permission to use the name of the agency. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing in your practicum?
So I work mainly with female federal offenders, and working with them to help them get them back on their feet and prepare to reintegrate back into society. So helping them with things like housing, employment, any sort of counseling they need to go to or they'd like to go to, trying to just help them get sorted again after serving some time.
Yeah, it's when you decided that you wanted to kind of put your name forward for that practicum, that kind of stuff. What were you feeling? Were you feeling apprehensive? Were you feeling, nervous about working with offenders in the context of the community? Where were you when you walked into it in terms of your understanding of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think prior to this degree, I would have been more apprehensive, but I was more excited than anything. I was excited to learn about it and just have the opportunity to work one-on-one with these people. I also have a big passion in women's rights and women in the criminal justice system, so it was a great opportunity for me to learn about that as well. I was more excited than anything, I'd say. Obviously, nerves were there, but
Yeah. You had a chance, no doubt, an opportunity to look at several different practical opportunities and those kinds of things. Can you tell us a little bit about the process you went through to be selected for the practicum?
yeah, it was pretty extensive, but I had support the whole way through from Leanne, who's the practicum coordinator and supervisor. But it's just like anything. Like it was a very competitive process. There's every week I was getting Leanne sending me applications for at least 3 to 4 new agencies to apply
Mhm.
for. So with that, you have to send in a resume for each one. Oftentimes you rework your resume with each one to make it fit what the agency requires from you. And on top of that, you create a cover letter with each application that is specific to the agency and your skills that would work in that agency. So it's pretty extensive, and you can get interviews at different places, but you don't really know, and you just keep applying and hope for the best.
Yeah. It's the reality is that it's like the real world, right? You got to
Mm-hmm.
be prepared and you got to apply often, and you're not going to be gifted a practicum. Like, you're never gifted a job, so you're
No.
that kind of stuff. So you're about halfway through your practicum by my calculation. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through now. I just did my midterm evaluation, so.
Yeah. Tell me what you're learning. Tell me, what are you learning about the criminal justice system, and maybe a little bit about what are you learning about yourself?
So I'd say I'm learning how to communicate with people professionally, how to communicate with clients, residents in a compassionate manner. It's one thing to talk about it in class for 4 years and then to be the person to do that in a real scenario,
Yeah,
which is why I chose the practicum stream, just so I could get experience with that. For myself, I'm really learning how to use my voice in those scenarios and to voice my opinion, and to know when to hold back on voicing your opinion too, and just kind of learning the ins and outs of the justice system and all the processes that go through with corrections, that go through with residential facilities, that offenders go through when they come out of the system, all of the things that they then have to do for themselves, and just learning the processes and learning how I can be of help to them as well.
yeah. Do you think at the end of your practicum that you're more employment ready at the end of the practicum than you would have been if you didn't do the practicum at all?
I would say 100% yes. Like I I knew myself that I could write an honors thesis, and that's
Yeah,
not to say you shouldn't if you want to. I just knew that was something I could do already, and I knew having that real world experience prior to graduating would be a great asset for me because it would give me a chance to a jumping point for learning of what I need to work on, of maybe where I want to take my career, what I want to go into, what I don't like.
yeah,
So I definitely feel way more prepared even now halfway through.
yeah. That's a perfect kind of description of why we do the practicum. Just one last question, right, and then we can let you go back to your life. Looking back on your years in the degree, What do you, if you were to identify one or two things that you said, that was really, really kind of a good experience. Are there one or two things that you would say, yeah, that's I really glad that happened to me. You know, that's a
Um,
hard question.
yeah, I guess speaking just from an MRU community perspective, I was involved with the dance team pretty heavily. And like Doug said, when like we have MRU has so many clubs, so many activities for anybody really. So that was a really great way for me to be involved with the MRU community. And I made some really great friends from there, lifelong friends. So that was really great. As for the criminal justice side, I mean, I think it's the professors more than anything. Like, I enjoyed going to class because I enjoyed learning from professors who were active in their teaching, who I knew I could talk to one on one when I had a problem, and who were just passionate about what they were teaching. And it's been great to learn
Yeah.
from all of you guys. Yeah.
Cassie, thanks for sharing your experiences. I think it gives prospective students a little bit of understanding, because the one thing that always I always am marveling at is you in your mature understanding of things now were one of them 4 years ago, right? And the
Yeah.
growth that happens is just an incredible
Yeah.
opportunity. So, Cassie, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will help other students, prospective students, make some decisions about whether or not they want to apply to us. So, thanks very much.
Yeah. No worries.
Thank you. I'm going to continue on with the PowerPoint, if I can find it, folks. Okay. Okay. There it is. So we left off here with the practicum, and now I want to talk a little bit about the honors stream. The honors stream is the name. Don't be confused by the name. It doesn't mean that you get a special honorary degree or anything like that. The honors is basically you work one-on-one on a research project with a full-time faculty member who supervises you in that project. These honors papers are usually 40 to 50 pages in length. Again, it's usually for the fourth year students, and it is you have to have a high GPA to get into honors. And it just opens up the door a little bit more, maybe for graduate student studies and those kinds of things. So it's something to consider as you go through it. Oh, I lost track here. Hang on here, folks. I need to get to the right slide here. Technology is wonderful, but okay. So it's something you can consider as you move down the road. I wouldn't worry about deciding about practicum versus honors right now. Those are decisions you start to make in your third year of study, but just know that there's that opportunity out there for students to consider. Now let's talk a little bit about careers, because I think probably our students, in particular, our incoming students, are more interested in what can I do with the degree. Well, you can do a lot with the degree. You can become our students become probation officers, meaning they work with offenders in the community, parole officers, youth workers. You can see the screen, right? Yes, some police become police officers, public safety officers, but equally important is our degree leverages you potentially in going into law school. So you'll have to get more education for that. And criminal analysis. Typically, you would need more education for doing those kinds of things. So our degree is not just a police degree. It gives lots of opportunities. One of the things that I've noticed a fair amount is that students will have an idea. Some students will have an idea what they want to do when they get in to the degree. I want to become a police officer. That's why I'm applying. But they change their mind because They learn about things that they hadn't understood before. And we're all about opening doors, not closing doors. So it's great if you have an idea of what you want to pursue, but don't be wedded to it. Expect that you may want to change it down the road, and that's really, really, really good as well. Now, you can use our degree to leverage into further education. I would think that maybe 10% of our graduates go on to law school across Canada. Some go to graduate school to get MAs and PhDs, and some go to Masters of Social Work and get their Masters of Social Work degree. The important thing about that is to know that not all MSW degrees have a non-Bachelor of Social Work entrance. So you have to pick and choose, but we can help you with that. We can give you all that kind of information down the road. Now, getting into our degree is competitive. Grades matter. So how you do in high school or where you are currently situated, if you're in another post-secondary institution, your grades will matter. It's competitive, people, which means we get more applications than we do admission. We'd like to admit more, but money is what drives that, and we're only given a certain amount of money to do admission. So grades matter. We only admit during the fall, so you should be applying right now if you want to get in for September 2022, and we only admit once. We have 3 categories: high school admission, post-secondary admission, and mature student admission. If you want more information about that, go to the admissions link and you can find all of those kinds of things. The key, though, folks, is you should be applying as soon as you can, because we start doing conditional admissions in a couple of months' time. So it would be important that you get that process out of the way. Now, if you have further questions about things, go to www.mru.ca/ask, or register in one of the live admission sessions that Mount Royal holds to get more information about admissions and those kinds of things. And lastly, if you're ready to apply, then you can find everything at mru.ca/future student. So that's the information that I want to present. I hope you all are. Hang on here. It's making noises. I hope that gives you some information. As I say, we're proud of our degree. We're really proud of our students. We look forward to always the first year intake and meeting new students and things like that. Again, apply early and you will increase your likelihood of getting admitted. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I've enjoyed doing this presentation, and I hope you found it useful. Take care.